All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of GearCast. I am here with Mr. Trevor Wells. Trevor, how are you, sir?
Wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm terrific, thank you. It's been a long time since I've seen you. I've missed you, man. I missed you.
It's been a long off season for me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, I'm interested to see what you're shooting this year. I mean, it's been almost a year at least, right, since I've seen you?
Close to a year, yeah.
Right? So what are we doing gear-wise here now?
I am shooting my original foundation, Butch's guns, impact with a Night Force, and it's a BRA.
Shooting the BRA?
Yep.
Why'd you choose the BRA over everything else that's out there right now?
So I shot a 6x47 for a whole year. I did well with it, but it is a full-time cartridge. You go to the range before every match, you recalibrate your speed, you change your BC or you change your velocity and your kestrel to try and keep up with your elevation and your dope. And it's a full-time job.
So you're constantly chasing the variables.
Yes, and it shoots well if you have time to do that. The range I go to, 1,200 yard range, is 4 miles from my house.
That's nice.
It's not a big deal.
That's nice.
It is, but it can be when work picks up, and my big lapse in long range shooting was because work moved to another state, and I had to spend a lot of time away from home.
Right.
And just couldn't do, you miss a 1,200 yard range 4 miles from your place. It's tough to do anything.
It's true.
When you have to drive a couple hours to do it.
That's called spoiled, folks.
Yes,
spoiled.
Very spoiled. Not gonna lie.
Range spoiled.
And so it's the BRA is something that you literally can it's just a very the Dasher was a big consistent round. It didn't matter what you threw in it, it shot good.
Right.
This is the same way. It don't matter what you throw in it, it shoots good.
Okay.
And
that's fair.
That's why I love it. Yeah.
That's fair. I noticed some differences here on your rifle. What is this contraption, this gadget right here?
This little guy here is something I came up with. MPA, Masterpiece Arms, makes it now for me. It's a brass catcher.
Okay.
It catches all your brass. I ran it for 2 years, had no malfunctions with it. Phil Cashin designed the arm, and we worked on it for about a year. And it is handy when you shoot brass that they don't even make. I mean, if you lose a piece of BRA brass, it kind of hurts you deep in your soul.
Yeah.
A little bit. Honestly, I designed this when I shot 6x47 brass. I was just sick of losing brass. I'm one of those guys that all my boxes have to be full. If I'm one short, it drives me crazy.
Got a little OCD going on.
Little bit with the ammo box, not really anything else, but the ammo box bothers the hell out of me. So,
all right.
So I designed the brass catcher. Phil makes it for me and sells it, and it's a pretty neat little gizmo.
That's pretty cool, yeah. And then I see you're shooting Night Force, and you also have an RMR on here. Explain this setup for me.
Okay, Night Force is an amazing optic. I can't count how many Night Force scopes, and I've never had a single ounce of trouble out of them.
Yeah, they're reliable as hell.
Very reliable. The RMR is something that I don't know how people shoot long range without. One of those spoiled things. Someone told me to put it on there. I did. And now I would be handicapped without it.
So how do you use an RMR on a rifle? Because on an AR, whatever, I get it. But on a bolt gun like this, how do you utilize that? On
target acquisition, it's the best thing you could ever want. What I do is I sight my RMR in at 1,200 or at 600 yards. And at 600 yards, wherever I find the target with my naked eye, put the dot on it, I looked at my scope, and it's in the field of view on full power. The first year I shot long range, I shot with a second focal plane Night Force.
That's a lot of work.
I shot the whole year on 25 power, and I think I finished 21st in the NRL.
Nice.
Very challenging year for me, but I was used to it. It's the only way I could shoot. I had a second focal plane. I wasn't going to do the math.
Right.
And so, but that is, I don't know how people don't shoot with RMR.
I'm gonna have to try
handy.
that. I'm gonna have to try it. Okay, so what optic are we using in here? What power optic do you have?
I have a 5 to 25,
Okay.
and I leave it on about 14.
We shoot on 14.
The trick is to get the, my next step is to get the, I don't know what the low setting is on the Night Force, the 35 power Night Force. And
I think they go down to like 15 or 25 yards or something like that as far as parallax.
7?
Is it 7 by 35?
7 to 35.
Okay.
The trick with that is you're never going to use 35 power.
So why do you want it then?
Okay, so the reason you do that is Night Forces on this scope, this is the ATAC-R, the optimal focus, the optimal zoom on this scope is 8 power. That's where the glass is the absolute clearest.
Okay. That's the cat's meow.
That's the cat's meow on the 5 to 25. Where I shoot, and where 95% of all of long-range competition shooters shoot is 14 power.
Right.
The 35 power Night Force scope, their optimal zoom range is 14.
Ah.
So you have the clearest glass on 14 power. That's why
I didn't know that.
you want the 35 power scope. You're never going to use 35 power. You shoot too far and there's too much humidity 90% of the places you go, so you can't even see through it when you're on 35 power. But that's why you'd want the 35 power scope over anything else. And that's my next, either that or a tangent, one of the two. Haven't been lined up.
All right, what trigger are we running?
A Jewel that has been an old Jewel trigger, badass.
Okay.
If you can find an old one. The new one's the
kind of finicky, from what I've heard.
What you can do is if you find a good gunsmith, they can blueprint it.
Okay.
And clean it up, crisp everything up, and it works great. This is a new one that's been blueprinted. I've had this in 3 guns. I keep using the same trigger because it works so well.
There you go. There you go. Barrel.
Proof. Steel. M24, I believe, is what I shoot.
Muzzle brake?
Impact.
Muzzle brake? Okay.
For the impact action. And I'll tell you what, the impact actions, they've got the tolerance figured out. It don't matter if it's raining, if it's blowing dirt, if you're in a completely clean environment. This gun functions like a dream. It's unreal.
I just ordered an impact in a 223. He's doing the whole barreled action, the whole 9 yards, so I'm excited. I'm actually hoping he has it here this weekend.
That'll be
I'm
nice.
hoping. Keep my fingers crossed. Sorry, I bought a new gun, hun. All right. I noticed you're running the Atlas bipod as well.
Yes.
Okay, why do you have the Atlas? I mean, there's a lot of great companies out there. Atlas is one of the top, but why do you choose Atlas over the rest?
So I've had other ones, and Atlas just has it down on the smoothness, I think, in the, I don't know what you call it, but the side-to-side movement is just smooth, and other bipods I've used are kind of like a grimy, grindy feeling when you want to pan left to right or up and down. Or can't, I guess.
Or can't, okay.
These are just smooth, they stay where you want them to, they're easily functioning. I haven't found one that I like as much. That's why.
Fair enough. Now accessories, what's all these gadgets here?
This is the best money I've ever spent.
That's a heavy bag. Okay,
it is a very heavy bag. ESPs, Ear Pro. Electronic Ear Pro. They're custom molded for you. They're very expensive, but they're worth every penny. I couldn't do a match without them now. I actually tried. We forgot them. They thought they were in my gun case on a flight trip we went on, and I had to shoot muffs, and I fought them the whole time after being used to these. These are amazing, worth every penny. Kestrel, it's a must. You can't do it without it.
Do you do all of your dope, your windage, everything on your Kestrel, or do you use this and an app on your phone?
The only time I've ever used an app is recently, and Hornady came out with a new app.
I've heard about that, yeah.
I shoot the A-tips, which is a mistake because you don't ever want to shoot anything other than A-tip. It's all an endorsement right there. I'm telling you, A-tip don't pay me nothing, but I pay them a lot of money. It's sad, but I've got like 4,000 hybrids at home that I cannot load in my gun because I don't want to shoot them. All I don't want to shoot is A-tips. So it makes that big a difference. There's no joke. And I've tried the Hornady app. because I shoot A-tips, but I checked it the other day and my dope was right on with my Kestrel. So
nice. Now, I mentioned this bag earlier. I mean, this is solid.
it's very solid.
Talk to us about the bag.
Predator makes an awesome bag.
I'm not familiar with Predator, so.
Predator's a local guy here in Oklahoma.
Okay.
He just works with you. He's a small company, but man, he does some great stuff. And me and him have worked very close, hand to hand, many trips to the house. Me and him have spent hours in his garage getting the feel right for these bags. And it's a combination of different things, but man, this bag is stable. I don't know. It's a very heavy bag. If you don't want this heavy bag, they make different feels for them, but this is your most stable bag.
Is this the only bag you carry, or just your primary bag?
This is the only real bag I carry.
You don't carry that big orange pillow around no more?
AG makes a numero uno bag that was supposed to be a joke, and I ended up with 2 of them. But I do carry my AG bag, my numero uno bag around with me a lot.
The bright orange numero uno is kind of your trademark, or it has been in the past.
For sure. Yeah.
All right, now this right here. Talk to me about your spotting optics.
Okay, Swaros, the SLC's 15 power by 56, unbeatable.
Okay.
You can see everything. The heat stroke 3 years ago, I was there. I was squatted with Tate, who makes Impact, and they kept saying, "Look at that trace! Look at that trace!" And I'm like, I had this spotting scope, and I'm like, what are they talking about? Like, I see trace. I know what trace is, but I just every once in a while I'd see it.
Right.
And he goes, and I went over to Tate, and I'm like, what are y'all talk about trace every shot? Y'all see it every time? He goes, yeah, look through these. The next guy lined up. I knew where the bullet was going to hit before he did. It was perfect. I mean, you could see it every time. And the next match, I had these. You can tell how much wind the guy's holding, everything. It's so clear. They should be outlawed, to be honest with you. It's almost like cheating.
Unfair advantage, huh?
It is. And the bipod, the tripod is an RRS. Really right stuff.
Yep.
It's the new Anvil. It's not new anymore. I've had it for a couple years. The Anvil head is awesome. I had one of the other ones before, and the big rule that I followed since somebody told me this, I don't remember who told me, but the rule in long range precision rifle is buy once, cry once.
Ain't that the truth?
Don't buy a $400 tripod, because you're going to end up with this one if you're serious about the sport. Just save your money and buy the good one. Buy the good scope. All this stuff is transferable.
It is.
This scope can go on any gun you want it to go on. This tripod can go with you anywhere it wants to go.
We're using that tripod for the camera right now.
You are, yeah. It's amazing. I love it.
So I see something on your tripod that we don't have on our tripod. Maybe you can explain. So the camera can see it. There's a mount here, and then you have these mounts here.
Okay.
What are these for?
These mounts are for my tripod caddy.
Okay.
I took the tripod caddy apart and put quick connects like
yeah, QD mounts. Okay.
Yeah. I put those there, and it holds my tripod caddy, so I can take it off easy and get it back in my backpack quick.
Smart.
And this one, I go here to here, and I use my sling to sling this.
Carry it.
Yeah.
Smart.
So we do a match in New Mexico every year. That is a 2-gun match, and you hike for 2 miles in the mountains. And it is no fun to carry a bunch of extra stuff. And so we just make it convenient as possible to load everything up as tight as you can get it on your back and then go. And that was where this came into effect. So I was having to take my tripod caddy off my tripod every time, get it all packed up, and everybody's halfway down the trail already. And so
gotcha.
The quicker the better in a lot of these matches. Most of the matches aren't like that, but that Night Force match is. It's brutal.
Right. So we're on a road trip. We're 12 hours away from home. We're not turning back. You forgot something. Out of your kit right here that you just showed us, you shared with us, you forgot something. You're seriously considering driving that 12 hours back to pick it up. What was it that you forgot?
Oh,
You would drive 12 hours all through the night to go pick up. What is it?
it would have to be the foundation stock.
The foundation stock.
Yeah, I couldn't shoot a match without it. I've
There you
tried. Not gonna lie, I really like chassis stocks in all flavors and kinds. There's something special about that stock.
That's a beautiful stock.
Thank you.
That's a very beautiful stock. I love, so I know this is a side note, but this is not their normal color because you
it's
got
not.
some orange put in here, right?
It's very
so they did something custom for you.
It is. John Kyle hooked me up. I told him I was crazy about orange, and he goes, "You know what? I've got something for you." And
That's awesome.
he couldn't send me a picture, but I'm very impressed with it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. When you were just walking up and setting it down on the counter, I was like, that's awesome. That foundation stocks stand out on their own, but that really pops.
This really pops. Yes, it does.
Awesome, Trevor, man. I really appreciate you taking the time today to come and hang out and share your gear with us. I wish you the best of luck at the match this weekend. For all you guys, stay tuned for the next episode. Until next time, stay safe, keep shooting, and we'll see you all at the range.